Good morning, everybody. So today is the third and final judge, Paul Morales, from our festival performance. We're going to be listening to his comments and looking at his judge's sheet. This is the last day of this type of video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I actually kind of have enjoyed it, even though I miss you guys. So anyway, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the comments.
All right, good morning, Lindbergh High Chamber Orchestra. My name is Paul Morales, retired orchestra director from Lee Summit School System over on the west side of the state. Looking forward to hearing your performance. Such a high quality high school, and proud to be here. Hopefully the comments you received today will be helpful, and we'll see what happens here in just a minute.
Those two first notes were short.
Careful, cellos. Gotta wait on the rests.
What do we say? Don't push the first violins.
Violins on your more florid solo part, 6 through 8. Be sure you stay into the string, and be careful that the first notes in each of the 16th groups is not too accented.
Same thing we heard yesterday.
Tending to drop out the back 3 notes of each group at times.
But that's a different way of putting it.
Keep that line intact.
Because yesterday the judge was saying that we're accenting it too much and it just sounds basically aggressive and interrupts the phrase. And today this judge was saying the same thing. You're accenting the first note too much, but the reason being that the 3 notes that follow it aren't coming through enough. Which is interesting.
Violins, I'm seeing a few people with their palm underneath the neck of the instrument. It's not like a shelf position, but it is something that is affecting your intonation on 3rd and 4th fingers.
There's no excuse or reason for that.
Violins also, I'm sorry, you guys are easy targets because you're on the outside of the ensemble where we can see you well. Bow position, the part of the bow you're using and how far the bow travels, all of those feed into ensemble and blend in your sound, as well as just being able to handle running notes like you're doing. We've got three or four that are in the upper half of the bow on 16-note passages. You need to be more toward the balance point where you can control the bow a little easier and also get a better tone, especially as the phrase develops and hopefully increases in volume. So keep working to know where your bow is. Another issue with some bowing that I see is on that first piece that we got bows that are not quite perpendicular all the time due to shoulders opening up, position that way, your bow hand wrist. Keep that wrist flexible, and so that especially if you are in the upper half or as you draw down on a down bow, that the bow stays perpendicular to the string for tone. Make sure you also know that you're not over the fingerboard. If it's not asking you to play soltasto, then don't.
You guys know
keep
all
it
of this,
between the bridge and the end of the fingerboard for better tone.
but clearly it's one thing to know it and another thing to do it.
I like the strong weak on the pairs of notes in this. The eighth note pairs, like 19 and 20 violins, well done. Since I was yelling at you about your position and your bows, 19 and 20 was well done on the strong weak. Good style. Bass and cello is one of the things I would suggest to you too. It's a little more refined, but you hear the strong weak in the violins. Listen across, and as you hold your note underneath them, your quarter note, see if you can strong weak the quarter note. I know there's not two notes there, but
If only I had instructed
down
you to do
bearing
that.
and then release of
Or
down
even
bearing on your
had
bow
you write it in
pressure.
your part.
See if you can match them in the intensity of your note. That will make it much more refined as well.
Thank God that's the last time I have to hear that note. That's all I'm saying.
Inside voice intonation is always an interest. Violas, you all are the color, you are the substance, you are the flavor in the sound, you and the second violins. The reason that is that you are the harmony. You cause harmony to happen, and because of that, a lot of times you have things like high threes or accidentals of other types. Give particular attention to those. We had some things that didn't quite line up in the second movement. Just be careful and listen. You all have the responsibility that some other sections don't in creating those vertical harmonies. All right, we're ready for the symphony, it looks like.
I'm glad that's the last time I have to hear that too.
Okay, starting off the symphony. Again, listen on the intonation.
I think the dynamics on this piece really saved us, because the dynamics that you guys did were absolutely excellent. And I think in the end, that's what made up for the intonation.
The dotted 8/16 figure in this is usually a bugaboo for kids. The tendency is to play it like it comes out as a triplet. You have to really be thinking or feeling that 16th note subdivision when you play.
If there's one thing we've taken away,
really,
it's that.
even though it's a slur, that's hard to do. Even though it's a slur, almost maybe a stop or at least release pressure while you're moving, so that there's some space in those figures. This has so many of those that are coming out, and they're coming out predominantly as triplets.
Yeah, and it's
Make
interesting
it really
because
defined, really, I guess, almost formal sounding.
he's asking for space, whereas yesterday we heard to make sure that the slurs are smooth. At the end of the day, my decision was to go with what was printed in the score, which is a smooth slur.
Again, use longer tones in any music you play. Use longer tones to either keep the note moving forward with tone, either through a little bit more crescendo or backing off. The long notes need to do something.
That's what Gary
Don't let them just sit there.
Every note should be moving toward or away from something. Those offbeat
cello's nice little soli section on that. You guys were really unified in intonation a lot. So see, violins, violas, there is something to learn from the cellos and the basses. Just be sure cellos, they don't rush.
They have heard that before.
Yeah, again, back 35. Just think back at 35, but also well, even it's just got to have dotted 8/16 figures that are tighter, a little more space, stop the bow even. That will help clean that up and make it a little more stylistically what it needs to be. All right. A few things on the sheet here as well for you, and want to thank you for you all hosting today. I know it's a lot of work for some of you. Even if you get out of class all day, it's still a job. So we're grateful to Lindbergh High for hosting, and it was an honor to get to hear you all play today and learn from you. Wish you the best.
All right, so time to look and see what he wrote on the adjudication sheet. So, pretty even split as far as tick marks in the 1 and the 2, but definitely a few more in the 2 category. So let's take a look at what that was. He gave us 1s on rhythm accuracy. For the Don Quixote, he gave us a 1. Note accuracy, position and posture, tempo, interpretation and style, again for the Don Quixote, and then balance. Balance. So like making sure that the violins don't overpower the cellos or vice versa. Okay, in the 2 category, intonation, definitely. Tone quality. We'll see if he writes anything about that because I didn't hear him say anything about tone quality. I think in general our tone quality was fairly good, but let's see what he had to say. Articulation and bowing, and then rhythmic accuracy, obviously in the dotted 8th note, 16th note figures, interpretation and style, dynamics, ensemble precision, and again, and blend. Okay, so let's talk about, let's see, fundamental technique comments. It says need space in the symphony number 5, dotted 8th, 16th. So we kind of talked about this yesterday, but the rhythm has to be correct. So the 16th note has to happen at the right time, whether that means holding the dotted 8th for its full value and then putting the 16th in there like a slur, or whether that means not holding the dotted eighth for its full value, but putting the rest of its value in as a break. And then the 16th note always happens at the same time. And the judges didn't necessarily agree on how we should have done that. But I think if we had played it correctly with either option, we would have fared better with all three judges. So it says also careful that it's not played as a triplet. Yeah, okay. Musical effect comments. Phrasing can be expanded through consistent articulation and bow something. Amplitude. Amplitude. Use the bow. Okay, more bow. Especially on the up bows to crescendo or move half notes along. Some lack of okay, that's in the next. Basically, I think he just wanted to see more shape and on individual notes as well. Okay, strength, tone. Yeah, see, I feel like our tone was good, but then you put the tick mark in the two. Some minor position issue, violins, notes on the recording. Yeah, so I mean, this, ugh, if you're in high school and you've got a pancake wrist, let's move on. Areas to improve. Intonation, yes. And then it says some lack of precision at times, weight on the rests for their full value. I think that was certainly talking about the lower strings, pushing the first violins in that windmills, and then quarter note pull, or sorry, keep solid quarter note pulse. So, and that's all the comments that he had. So, I just kind of want to mention that, like, I try to maintain, especially after a festival's already happened, I try to maintain kind of like a positive, like, let's learn from this and grow from it. And I think that some of my frustration, and I'm sure some of your frustration as well, comes in when for an entire semester or more, sometimes you've heard me say the same things every day in class. You know, the dotted eighth note, 16th note rhythm, for instance, is something that we talked about over and over and over again. Intonation on certain parts, bow placement. It's something that I've spent a lot of my life in class talking about. And then to hear it, that it wasn't actually executed, to hear it three times in a row after a big festival like that, it's hard to take. And I'm human, and I'm sure you guys are feeling a lot of the same things. So what I would hope that we would learn from this is that, the things, I'm not going to waste your time in class. I'm not going to waste your time having you write things down that don't matter. Okay, I promise. If I'm telling you to write something in your music, it's because it's something that musically matters for our performance. And if you choose not to do it, whatever your reason is, whether you don't believe me that it's important or you just don't feel like doing it, that kind of stuff will come back to us when we have an adjudication like this, because any musical professional, meaning myself or the judges, we're going to value more or less the same things. And the way that we choose to explain it is potentially going to be different. And the things we pick up on one listening to another is potentially going to be different. But the core values of rhythms have to be correct, things have to be in tune. We can't rush. Bows have to be in the same place. You can't have a flat wrist if you're playing a violin or viola. Like, those things are non-negotiable. So in any case, at the end of the day, you guys received a 1 for our festival performance, and I do think that that was deserved. But I think that there is a lot that our ensemble as a whole can learn from this, and then moving forward, we won't be on that bubble, and it'll be a lot less stressful leading up, because I think, between the concert time and our festival, I think there was a lot of stress. At least I was stressed, I'll be honest. And I think that when I'm stressed, class is probably less enjoyable for you guys. And while I'm proud that we made so much progress from the concert to the festival performance, while I'm very proud of that, I wish that after the concert, my feeling would have been, okay, we're in a really good position. We just need to touch up a few things. And that's really how it should be. So I'm going to make that a goal for next year, and I hope that you guys will too. In any case, this was the last time that we have to listen to that performance. And like I mentioned today and in other videos, there were spots that definitely we should be proud of. Definitely, definitely. And overall, this was a very difficult program, and I don't want you guys to forget that. So, tomorrow I'll see you back here again, and we're going to go over the sight reading room, the judge from the sight reading room, what she had to say, and I'm also going to read out some top comments from you guys from the week, both from the YouTube video comment section and also the Google form submissions. So, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.